and get ready to roll. As we see number 44, Jack Parks, and number 1, a sophomore for Blue Valley West, Omar Stanley. Omar is going to win the tip. Jack, tell me a little bit about Omar as you were watching film early on.
I was watching some highlights from earlier in the season, and let me tell you, Omar Stanley can throw the ball down.
And that's exactly what they were trying to do right there, is they weren't necessarily trying to get that backdoor pass, but they were trying to backdoor it on Northwest's side of the left side of the court, trying to get the alley-oop dunk to probably establish some confidence early on and show Northwest we're going to pound it.
And that is well within his ability. He can definitely throw it down off an alley-oop.
And I talked about earlier as Kyle Sheaver, one of the point guards here for Northwest, along with Jackson Nicodemus, kind of playing with a 2-point guard system as Waters has it up top. Waters is the best player on the Northwest Ravens team. Arguably, you can make a case for Jackson Nicodemus on most nights, as Jackson drives to the basket and takes a bad shot, and that is missed. And the ball's going to go Blue Valley West, as Blue Valley West is rocking the black jerseys with the red lettering. And Olathe Northwest, the home team, is rocking the home whites with the Ravens spelled out on the chest.
Although that wasn't a great shot from Nicodemus, I like the aggressiveness of getting into the lane and driving instead of relying on the 3-ball like they tend to do.
Yeah, and that's something they did early on, is you're going to get a travel called right there as he picked up that back foot a little bit. And they're going to call that every single time with a very veteran varsity officiating staff.
On the offensive end, the Ravens spend a lot of time on the perimeter moving the ball around, looking for an open look. I would like to see them tonight get a little bit more aggressive and use their tendency of staying out on the 3-point line to their advantage and get into the lane on backdoor cuts and drives.
As Nico has the ball up top and Kyle Shearer didn't really know what was going on right there, possibly didn't know the set. Northwest, pretty much like I talked about earlier, only has 2 scores. Occasionally Jack Park steps up, and like he did right there on cue, he hits the 3 for Olathe Northwest, which he could not hit on Friday night, which would have played a big difference. So if he gets that shot going tonight, Northwest is not going to have a problem, because you know Luke Waters and Jackson Nicodemus are going to get their points that they usually average.
And part of the equation is confidence. On Friday night when they lost to West, Parks just seemed hesitant to shoot the 3, oftentimes not taking the wide open shot. So it all comes down to confidence and willingness to step up and knock it down.
That's going to be a 3 by Blue Valley West, and that's going to be missed very wide right. And Jack, you told me earlier, as when we were talking in our pregame meeting, that Blue Valley West only stays in games by how they shoot 3s. They have to shoot 3s to stay in the game.
Right.
Obviously that 3 didn't fall. Could that be a problem for them later on?
It could. If the shots aren't going down, they could start trailing behind. Watch for number 20, Keaton Goodale, and number 30, Chris Nordstrom. They lead Blue Valley Northwest a lot of the time in 3-point shooting percentage and seem to pick up a lot of their buckets.
Number 20, Keaton Goodale, a senior guard, is going to have the ball, and they're going to kick it out to him in the corner. It's going to be a 3-point attempt, and he's going to swish it to tie the game up 3-3 in the first quarter with 5:30 left in this first quarter. And Nicodemus, as I heard from a few of the players, Nico is kind of that primary ball-handling guard when they're running that press, or when the opposing team is running a press, and Kyle Sheaver is more of that guard, or that point guard player is when they're slowing it down and they let Nico play the 2.
I definitely like the look of Kyle Sheaver running the point in the half-court offense, because that allows Nico to move without the ball, get himself open, and look for opportunities both to shoot and to get into the lane.
And that allows Nico more of a chance to be a catch-and-shoot type guy instead of having to create his own shot, which he's better at catching and shooting. He's very good at creating his own shot too, but that's how excellent he is at catching and shoot, is you want him to not be that primary ball handler, as Nico's going to have the top at the R of the Ravens. Going to give it to Midiette, who had a slow start last week, and Parks for 3 once again. Misses it, but I like the confidence by the big fella right there. A D1 football commit, as he committed to KU a day before National Signing Day a few weeks ago.
And I like his aggressiveness there. I wish he would keep going after that, as well as get down in the post and work hard.
And the big man for Blue Valley West had no problem right there driving to the basket as he put it up. And as he laid it in right there, Jack, as we can see on our monitor right here, he was very close to dunking it.
Right. He has the athletic ability to get up and throw it down. One thing I'm interested to see is, can Jack Parks or Aaron Reynolds or whoever is matched up against Stanley, can they maintain the physical game throughout? Because they have not seen this kind of height or physical strength maybe all season.
And the Ravens sort of have it made for them right now, as they're facing a 15 seed. Obviously, if they win, they will have to take on crosstown rivals, who always plays them well. Olathe East. Always finds a way to beat them too, but Northwest the past few times have beaten them. As Parks drives to the basket and loses it, regained by Blue Valley West, and the fast break points. Looks like he was fouled, but number 20, Goodale, gets it to fall. And that is going to be a timeout, Olathe Northwest, as they're going to call a timeout. That's going to be a 30-second timeout. I want to thank Keisha for letting us host this game, obviously because we had the record, but also our broadcasting team for letting us have it. I want to remind you, your ticket to an athletic event is a privilege to watch students learn on the playing court. Unruly behavior is unacceptable in the classroom, and the sports arena is a classroom. Good sportsmanship is a lesson to be learned by players and spectators. Remember, sportsmanship provides the human touch. The Kansas State High School Activities Association and O&W Raven Daily and TV25 encourages you to make the sportsmanship a primary concern as you support your chosen team. As Cheever's gonna go up with the ball. He's kind of slowing it down right now. I don't think Grove likes what his team is doing.
And slowing it down definitely plays to the Northwest advantage. They're not necessarily as quick as the teams that they match up against. But so slowing it down and working in the half court works for them.
They do have the height advantage, which they usually use. As number 24, Luke Waters, the big man, drives down and scores. Very good with his left hand and his right hand as well.
That's the kind of play they're looking for in the half court. Yeah. They want isolation with Waters so he can work, allow him to either pop it from the three-point line or get down low and finish with contact.
Waters is their leading scorer, so definitely what they want for him. They want to pound the ball to him. As number 20, Goodale, looks like he's going to shoot it but doesn't. Good defense by Nicodemus right there as he's about 3 feet off.
And that's definitely the matchup to watch because Nicodemus is quick and he can stay with those guards, but can he keep up with the three-point barrage from Goodale?
And that's going to be a jumper by Spencer Bain, a sophomore. Rebounded Northwest, and Nico has it up top, and then he's giving it to his best player, Luke Waters, who shoots a three and misses it on the front iron.
Once again, not a bad look for the Ravens. It ultimately will come down to can they get enough shots to fall because they get good looks on nearly every possession.
Yeah, that's something they do very well. They slow it down, very conditioned too. So when it comes down to later on in the game, as long as there's not a full court press the whole time, they should be the most conditioned team at the end and the most well-focused team. Looked like that may have been a travel right there by number 30, but it wasn't called. It's going to be a three attempt by number 30. And that's going to ricochet on the front iron, go back to the back iron, and it's going to go in. That's going to be a 10-5 lead for Blue Valley West as they're winning with 2:40 left in the first quarter.
And if you're Blue Valley West, that's the kind of shot you like to see fall in.
You also want to see Mitch Miniette pull up right there and take that shot. Maybe a little hesitant tonight as he had a very rough game, only making one shot of 7 attempts against Olathe West.
And a lot of those shots could have ended up making the difference had they fallen because he did take a lot of wide open shots.
Jackson Nicodemus told me they were 4 for 22 from 3 that night. That is not going to win you a game when you only have 2 guys who do the primary scoring for you, and especially Luke Waters was on that night. It was basically Olathe West versus Luke Waters that night.
And the strength of the Ravens is pounding the ball inside and working in the post because both Luke Waters and Jack Parks, along with Aaron Reynolds, have the ability to fight through contact and get the ball up in the rim. So playing to their advantage by pounding the ball down to the post is something they really need to work for the rest of the season.
A good drive by Waters and kicked out to Michael Anderson, also known as Big Mike, misses the three. Jackson Nicodemus gets the rebound and goes up and gets fouled. He's going to go to the free throw line for 2. Jackson Nicodemus is pretty much, I'm not going to say automatic, but he makes pretty much every single free throw he attempts. He shoots 75% from the charity line, so obviously he's not perfect, but he's pretty close. That's going to be the first bet. It's going to be the first bucket made from him from the free throw line.
I love the rhythm he has, throwing it between his legs before going up.
And I've talked to him before about that. He said he does that for the reason of he wants to sort of make it like he's shooting a jumper. He feels more comfortable shooting a jumper, so as long as he does that and doesn't cross that line, then he's fine.
And that makes perfect sense. It's whatever you're most comfortable with at the free throw line.
As a coach, I don't care as long as the ball goes in. So if that's what he wants to do, go ahead and do it. As Reynolds and Michael Anderson checked in earlier on for Parks and Cheever, they're running with 2 bigs still and 3 guards. Jackson Nicodemus goes to the primary ball handler now as Mitch Miniette is more of that defensive specialist, and Michael Anderson just adds big minutes to this Raven offense and defense. Very good defender. A 3 attempt by number by number 20 and is missed. Goodell's kind of come up short tonight, only making 1 3 for West. And they are still winning by 3.
That could come back to be an issue later in the game, but if you want to watch a defensive effort tonight, take a look at Midyet. He uses his feet and his hands to fight with the offenders.
And Luke Waters got some contact right there, but he drives to the rim and finishes it. That ball is going to be dished out. West has actually played very smart. They've played to their advantage. They've tried to do everything with them. They've kind of tried to beat this Northwest defense. Not necessarily done a great job, but they do have the lead 10-9. It's going to be an offensive foul, player control foul called on Blue Valley West.
Foul called on number 13, David Brown, his first, team 6.
It's going to be David Brown's first foul. The team 6, so the Ravens will be in the bonus sometime in the second quarter, if not the first quarter still.
One thing I have liked out of the Blue Valley West offense, they've been setting lots of off-ball screens, hoping to free up their shooters.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, with the movement on the offense, it wears down the defense. Defense gets lazy towards the end of the possession, and that's when you get open shots.
And Mitch is wide open for 3. Doesn't get it. Luke Waters is hounded down low, and it's called for the travel. Ball's going to go to Blue Valley West.
And that's the game plan you have to have on defense. You have to double team the post no matter who it is because they work hard down there, and that's exactly what Northwest is looking for.
Number 2, Spencer Bain, a sophomore point guard, is going to do the ball handling. A good drive, and that's going to be a blocking foul called, I believe. Yeah, that is Michael Anderson, Big Mike. He's called for his first foul. He's very good at taking the charge. So if you see someone driving and I'm Michael Anderson, I'm definitely trying to step in and taking that foul charge.
And it was an impressive move by Bain to cut through the defense. He split 2 defenders there and was able to get to the lane.
As we see, our fan section here tonight is a little bigger than it was, actually a lot bigger than it was yesterday. I see Nick Haggerty out in the stands with his hard helmet hat that he has that he made for Olathe Northwest, a diehard fan.
Speaking of last night, the Lady Ravens beat Olathe North by nearly 30 points, 63 to 33.
It was exactly 30 points. As I talked to Coach Bradford after the game, he used to play at KU actually. He said that their goal was to stop Sarah Beth Geldner. Jack, they did not stop Sarah Beth Geldner last night.
And that's hard to do.
Yep. As number 2, Bain is going to make the basket, and he's going to come out at number 10. Well, he's not on the roster. But that's going to be Chris Nordstrom, a senior, I'm going to assume, yeah, a senior guard. Ball's inbounded to big man Aaron Reynolds. Big Ren is what they call him. Ooh, and that's a rough dribbling down right there for him. But he got it down the court without a problem. Sheaver up top. Out to Reynolds. Waters with the screen. Thought maybe Mitch would have shot it, but he didn't. I know she's not afraid to pull the trigger. We haven't seen it much this year, but Kyle Shearer will shoot and can shoot the ball good from 3.
When the ball enters the post down there with Luke Waters being double teamed, Waters needs to look for a kick out to an open teammate because with the double team coming, there's always someone else open.
And Luke Waters has it up top now, giving away to his point guard and one of his good friends, Kyle Sheaver. Kyle Sheaver is known by his friends and also by himself as a 3-point specialist. Jack, tell me how many threes you expect to see from him tonight.
I don't know how many threes I expect to see from him. What I would like to see is a little bit more aggressiveness from him. He hasn't been taking as many shots as we've been used to seeing in years past.
And on the left side, with time expiring, Luke Waters gets the shot off, and the Ravens are only trailing by 1 after the first quarter. I want to remind you, you're watching Raven basketball on TV 25 where there's always something on.
Hi, I'm Nick Baumgartner, owner of Midwest Barter Exchange.
So what is barter anyway?
Midwest Barter helps you trade what you have for what you really need. You can use Midwest Barter dollars to purchase hundreds of products for your business or personal use without the use of cash, including advertising on TV 25. Find out more at our website or call 785-383-4965.
Go. All right, great first half from the Ravens. Terrific shot by Luke Waters there at the end. And Grove was telling his team to get the ball inside and to keep pushing it down low. Let's see what they got from us in the second quarter. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Lane and Daniel, with that terrific knowledge for us. All right, obviously, Jack, we know they want to pound the ball inside. Who do you think they go to here? You think they go to Parks or Waters here on this first play?
I think you're definitely going to Waters. I think you're looking for an off-ball screen or something to set him up down low for an easy bucket.
As Nico Jackson Nicodemus drives to the basket and gets fouled, who's going up for 2, so that means he's going to take 2 shots.
Foul call number 13, David Brown.
And Grove wants his team to know, as he yelled out to him, that they're in the bonus. When you're in the bonus and you get fouled and you don't have 10 and below, you go to the free throw line for 1 and 1. Obviously, once you get 10 plus, you go to the line for 2 of 2. So he told them to pound the ball inside. Jack, do you agree with that, or do you think they should try to take some more threes?
I think you definitely pound the ball inside. You're looking to get fouled here, so you get trips to the free throw line. Free throw line is free points, and you have to capitalize there if you want to win games late in the year.
I do agree with you 100%. I think they need to continue to pound the ball to Luke Waters. I don't care if Luke Waters scores 55 points. As long as he gets his and he scores, I think Northwest will win.
And even if he scores 10, he draws the attention of the defense, allowing some of his teammates to kind of step up and make plays. So as long as his teammates are playing to the level he is, they're in business.
But that was key word, step up. You have to step up and make your shots. If you don't, then that's very, very bad. And Waters does have to go to that primary guy. As Spencer Bain makes a jumper at the top of the key, making it 14-13. Blue Valley West with 7:15 left in this first half. Mitch Minier hasn't attempted a shot tonight. Parks feeds the ball inside to Luke Waters, and Luke Waters goes up for 2 and finishes it with the assist from the big man Jack Parks.
If you caught that, the Blue Valley defense, or Blue Valley West, defense tried to jump that pass into the post by coming around the front and fronting Luke Waters, trying to prevent him from getting the ball. In last week's game against Olathe West, that became a problem as that created turnovers and eventually kind of shut the Raven offense down for a while.
See, but I also think it matters too, and that was a missed shot by the big man Omar Stanley for Blue Valley West, is that you really have to play your own game. Obviously, you can get out coached, but the players do got to go out and execute at the end of the day. And that's stolen by number 20. Takes a jumper. It was contested by Jackson Nicodemus, who got back, but he makes a jumper anyway, making it 16-15. Sheev bringing it down. When Sheev does anything special, you will hear the Sheever Fever chants from the crowd, as that ball is going to be stripped away, and it looks like he was fouled, and he is going to end up being fouled by Jack Parks. That's going to be Olathe Northwest's 3rd foul, though, so it's not going to affect anything for us.
But that was 2 turnovers on 2 straight possessions from the Ravens. They need to clean things up a little bit as they continue in this second quarter.
100%, they do need to clean things up. They can't rely on, or they can't trail the whole night. That's something they did after the first quarter to Olathe West. They trailed the whole time. You have to get a lead, whether it's a 1-point lead or a 15-point lead. You have to have a lead to have that other team down.
And although I believe the Raven defense is as good as any we've seen in a high school basketball game so far, you can't rely on the defense to win you the basketball game. If you don't put points on the board, you can't win.
I 100% agree with you. Good defense right there by Miniette. As he's going to be fouled on the wrist, though, as he got him on that hand check. I don't necessarily know if that was a good foul. It looked like the Blue Valley West kind of draw that himself by how he turned the corner, and then unless it's fouled. But Northwest right now has 6 turnovers compared to Blue Valley West's 3. That's something that the Ravens need to do better.
Absolutely. Like I've said in almost every broadcast we've had so far this year, turnovers and free throws will make or break a game. If a team can limit the turnovers and knock down the free throw shots they're given, it's hard to beat them.
100%, Jack Clayton, you are right. And a good drive to the basket by Bain is going to be missed and rebounded by the very athletic Mitch Miniette, a senior guard for Northwest. He has very big minutes to them. Necessarily doesn't do a lot of scoring, but when he shoots and he's on, he's on. Luke Waters for 3 and misses. A good save by Sheever.
Another positive quality for Miniette is his hustling. He works hard for every single loose ball. He wants it. He will get on the floor, and he will do anything to stop you from putting the ball in the basket.
And Parks extended his arms right there. Is going to be called for his second foul. As I bet we see Reynolds check in, or possibly even Luke Wellman.
And as the Ravens get more and more tired, especially with the press that they've seen so early in this game, there will be more and more contact down low between Stanley and either Reynolds or Parks.
Also, if you're not here at the game tonight with this crazy student section, I want to give a shout out to Drake Seaton and his dad for watching, and also Nate Nicewanger and his parents for watching the game. Thank you for watching our broadcast. And that's going to be a pass to Jackson Nicodemus up top. Let's see what he does here. Is they're going to feed the ball possibly to Reynolds as he's wide open? No, they go back inside to Waters. Kicked out to Midiette, who attempts a three and doesn't get it going. He's having a rough past few games, Jack.
And yes, he is having a rough patch right now. But to come out of a slump, you have to keep shooting. To knock a shot down, you have to keep putting it up. So if he's open, he needs to take the shot, and he needs to have the confidence to do so. Otherwise, he's going to continue his slump.
You can't break out of a slump if you stop shooting.
Absolutely.
You got to keep on shooting. You got to go through the growing pains of looking bad. Because once you get it going, you're going to look good, and everyone's going to love you once again. If you see number 2 up top, Bain makes a three, and it ricochets a little bit in and out. And it looks like that could have been a foul on Big Ren. Wasn't called. Jackson Nicodemus drives to the basket and can't finish at the rim. Rebounded by Blue Valley West, and it is pushed. And that is going to be the fifth turnover committed by Blue Valley West. Northwest only has one more than Blue Valley West. So let's see what they can get going here.
The Ravens kind of got bailed out there with the misstep on the pass. If he would have caught that, it'd been a wide open layup simply because the Ravens didn't get back quick enough on the defensive end.
Also, I think the student section has been very quiet because there hasn't been much to cheer about. I think if you can get the student section into it, with Blue Valley West is 4 or 5 people in the student section, it can really add that 6th man for you.
Absolutely.
Waters gives that little jab step and drives, but is going to get called for that travel immediately as he picked up his pivot foot.
That's his second travel of the night.
Not exactly what we see much from him. We usually see that from the other bigs or any other player on the team, but you don't really see that from him. Luke Waters is very well fundamental. He's not the most athletic kid on the floor, but he's the most technique kid on the floor. He's got the best technique and the best skill on the floor. A good drive to the basket by number 20, Keaton Goodale. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Maybe it's Goodale. Either way, he's a senior guard. He drives to the basket and gets fouled, and he's going to go to the line for 2.
And he is definitely an impact player for Blue Valley West. He does a majority of the scoring and takes a lot of the three-point shots for them.
He does. Also, I don't know if they're watching, but shout out to the Olathe Northwest Raven dance team as they landed in Orlando this morning to get set for Nationals. That's who we're missing in the student section right there, where you see a little person in the Raven sweatshirt. That's usually where the dance team sits.
And they are going for their 9th national championship this year. Good luck to them.
Good luck to all of them and their captains especially. Gabby Thomas and Lane Steffen. Good luck to them. Let's see what Big Ren does here. Is he going to give the ball up? Ooh, looks like he may have picked up that pivot foot. Not called for it, gives the ball to Sheev.
I like the pressure Blue Valley West is bringing on the defense right now. Northwest only has 1 or 2 players that really handle the ball well, and when you bring that pressure, that can create havoc.
This is something that Northwest has not done. Obviously, they've gotten the ball to Waters down low, but the height of Blue Valley West has kind of stopped them from doing that, and Grove told them, pound the ball inside. We are in the bonus. Draw fouls, something they have not done. As everyone is clapping, the Northwest fans are clapping. They got the ball back. Jackson Nicodemus for 3, and he knocks it down. His first 3 of the night. The Ravens are down by 2. No, it's tied 17-17 with 2:40 left.
And that was a great result from a kind of crazy offensive possession. Typically, the Ravens do not handle pressure overly well. They tend to turn the ball over, as we've seen a little bit earlier in this game. But that was a wonderful shot to see after that possession.
As that is going to be a travel called on Blue Valley West, another turnover for them. And to me, Jack, if you just don't have it, you're missing shots. You know, maybe your running ability's not there. You can't keep up. But things like traveling and violations and 3 seconds and all that, that is just mental. That is something you can control. That is something that cannot happen to win games.
Right. If you turn the ball over in silly mistakes, such as like completely missed passes, traveling violations, things like that, you can't win.
And Jackson Nicodemus for 3 once again. He makes it. In his past 2 3-point attempts, he's 2 for 2, making that 6 points for him. Also had a few points later on. Makes it 8 points on the night.
Good looking shot from the 3-point line.
Number 1 drives to the basket, and the Northwest fans and Coach Grove wanted the foul called, did not get it. And Omar Stanley, a sophomore, he's just a sophomore, Jack. He's the tallest one on the floor. He's going to go to the line for 2.
He looks like he has a bright future ahead of him, but props to Mike Anderson for stepping in front of that. He got called for the blocking foul, and it takes guts to step in for a charge against anyone, let alone a...
I'm going to flat out say he's a
towering man.
Jack Parks is 6'6". I'm going to say he's 6'8". He looks about 2 inches taller.
And not only is he taller, but he fills his frame out.
He does. As Mitch Miniette got the rebound after the miss, probably didn't know what to do with the ball, but gave it to Nicodemus. Nicodemus is hot. I'm keeping it in his hands and telling him to shoot one more time. Let's see what they do here. Waters gives that jab step, misses it off the side of the rim. Rebounded BBW.
I love that look from Luke Waters. I cannot get enough of them kicking him out to the 3-point line because that is where he is best. He can drive to the hole through contact, or he can pop it.
You know what? I'm letting him take as many shots as possible. If he wants to take 30 shots, take 30 shots because he's going to make about 15 of them.
I completely agree. And the more attention he draws to himself, the more that goes away from other players like Nicodemus.
Blue Valley, though, is doing a very good job of guarding him. It may not seem like it because he's doing all the scoring, as he's going to be fouled going up for 2, and he's going to go to the line for 2. Waters shoots 89% from the free throw line, nearly 90%. He's pretty much perfect.
And setting up these free throws was a great look from Reynolds driving on the baseline to hit his teammate, who was basically uncovered.
Yeah, very good right there. As Waters going to make the first one like I thought he would. Gets high fives from his teammates. Number 1, Omar Stanley, looks a little tired over there, huffing and puffing.
A lot of the players on the floor right now are looking a little worn out.
And I want to say this, the officials are trained. I'm a Acacia certified official, just so everyone knows. The officials are trained to give a warning first before they give a technical if they can. That's exactly what he did right there. That establishes the tone, lets him know. If you get one more warning, that's automatic technical. If you get that second technical, then you're ejected from the game as Luke Waters finishes it and makes it 2 of 2 from the free throw line for him right there.
And it seems like we've seen a technical in several of the games here at Olathe Northwest, one occurring against Olathe West last Friday.
And at some point, I'm starting to think that may be a little bit on the building, or possibly it could be on just the coaches themselves. So that's going to be a travel by Blue Valley West as he gets a little footsie. Gets a little foot happy right there and gets it called.
And we haven't seen a technical from Grove yet this season, but we know him to be a very animated coach.
He's a very fiery coach. As today he was all jolly in the morning and in the lunchroom, going up saying hi to everyone. I don't know if he was doing that to get them to come to the game, or he was just really excited that they get to play tonight. A good drive to the basket on the fast break. And that is finished by Gregory Riddle, a sophomore guard. Sheaver's going to bring it down with 19 seconds left. Ravens are winning 22-21. I bet they keep the ball in Jackson's hands and possibly give it to Waters on the screen in the pick and roll. A good drive. And looks like the finish by Nico, but it's not. And a very bad shot by Blue Valley West. That is going to take us into halftime with the Ravens leading 22-21. I want to remind you, you're watching Raven basketball on TV25, where there is always something on. Stay tuned for the second half.
There was a strong showing in the first half from both of the offenses. Grove was really adamant to his team about pushing the ball forward and continuing to create. Just a great showing. I'm really excited to see what we have to look forward to in this next half. Should be a lot of offense, great scoring, and really excited to see what we have. And here's to send it to commercial.
Tax time is here. This year, let Peggy's Tax and Accounting take away the stress and hassles of tax season. Whether you want a quick refund or need an IRS mediator, you can rely on Peggy and her 20-plus years of experience. Be sure to ask about Peggy's immediate tax refund. Agents are on hand 6 days a week and after hours by appointment. Walk in, call in, or visit their website for more information or to schedule your appointment today. Peggy's Tax and Accounting, 300 Southeast 29th Street in Topeka.
With more premium cable-like channels than any other station in the United States, we are locally owned. We are locally operated. We are free over the air. We are TV 25, where there's always something on.
Got problems? We solve them. Warner Electric, your residential troubleshooting specialist.
Great movies.
Oh, yeah.
Classic TV shows.
Good evening, I'm Mr. Carson.
Free to watch, easy to watch.
But of course.
On over-the-air digital or cable.
This is it.
This is your movie network.
Boy, if life were only like this.
And this is Antenna TV.
I love it.
Together, two memorable networks to watch.
Watch your favorites on TV 25.3 and TV 25.11.
Oh no, electrical problems. Who do I call?
My preference would be Warner Electric.
I think we found your problem here. For all your electrical troubleshooting needs, call Warner Electric.
Buzzer, Justice, Antenna, Heartland, Newsmax, Weather Nation, Revin, Untamed Sports, Retro, Vibrant, This, Jewelry. 12 simultaneous networks broadcasting 24 hours a day to 2.2 million viewers in Kansas City, Lawrence, and Topeka. We are TV 25, where there's always something on.
Hi, I'm Nick Baumgartner, owner of Midwest Barter Exchange.
So what is barter anyway?
Midwest Barter helps you trade what you have for what you really need.
You can use Midwest Barter dollars to purchase hundreds of products for your business or personal use without the use of cash, including advertising on TV 25. Find out more on our website.
He's going to let us know when we're going on. So. Oh, you're good. You're good. Hello, and I'm here with Nick Haggerty, my sports fan of the night. Nick, tell me a little bit about why you love to come to Northwest basketball games.
I mean, I love to be the hypest guy at Northwest basketball games. I mean, since I play football, I love being the hypest guy at the basketball games since I can't be a fan at the football game. So something I really look forward to.
So you sort of like to give back to the players who came and support you then, right?
Yes, absolutely.
What are you seeing tonight that you like or something that you don't like?
I mean, I like how we're working the ball around. I like how we're scoring some points. I mean, we're hitting shots tonight. We're hitting shots.
Something we didn't do in the last game. Now, I chose you for a fan of the game for a specific reason.
Yes, sir.
Because of this hard hat. Tell me a little bit about it.
All right, so first game of junior year, I decided I need to do something that gets the people going. Yeah. Absolutely, and I thought of what better way than to do it than something I wear, a hard hat. So I spray painted this, got the baseball logo from the hat, and that was it.
That's pretty much all. All right, Nick, I want to thank you for coming out. And
hey, thanks, man. How's it going?
Enjoy the rest of the game from the student section.
I will. All right, thanks, man.
We'll be back for second half action very soon.
Sounds good.
Bad words. I heard when Shiver did the football game, he was like, "Is the fucking camera on?" I'm pretty sure he did that. He did that. Yeah, he did do that. He was like, "Is the fucking camera on, bro?" And welcome back. The Ravens are winning 22-21. I hope you enjoyed my little interview with my fan of the game, Nicholas Hegarty. As you can see right there, talking in the student section to Brevin. I picked him, Jack, a little bit because of his hard hat. What do you think? Was it a poor choice for me to pick him for fan of the game? What do you think?
I think Nick Hegarty is a great choice. He shows up to every game regardless of what night of the week it is, and he always seems excited to be here and happy to watch his school compete against others from the area.
Almost through. He's got that ultimate school pride, exactly what you want. Possibly because he played on the football team and he knows how it is to have everyone behind you wanting you to win and wanting you to succeed.
And that definitely eggs the players on. That gives them the motivation to play well because, I mean, they are more or less like school superstars around here right now. They're on their way, or they have the potential to go to the state tournament for the second time in school history back-to-back years.
Also very impressive. Last year they were pretty much just satisfied to get there. As Grove pretty much just said that. We were satisfied to be in the building. This year, they're hungry. They're hungry to win the first state title for men's sports in school history.
And I don't think they have quite the team they had last year, but what I like about them this year is that they all have their own ability that contributes to the team, and none of them work outside of that ability. They know their limits, they know what they can do, and they play well together and understand that when they play well together, they have a great chance to win.
That is very true, as we're going to get set for second half action. Northwest here, obviously you're only up by 1. If I'm Blue Valley West, I'm telling my guys, you know what? We're the 15 seed. They're the 2 seed. I like this. This could be an upset in the making.
Absolutely. I'd bring the press back that we saw from the first half, because if the Ravens take either Nicodemus or Sheaver off the floor, all of a sudden they have one point guard to bring the ball up against a 2 or 3 man press.
And it looks like that's going to be a foul on Parks. It's going to be a block. Also, you're talking about the press. One of my good friends, Drake, just texted me and said, hey, why don't we press? Honestly, Drake, I'm going to answer this for Grove. I'm saying we're not pressing because we have 8 guys and 8 seniors, but we haven't seen Luke Wellman tonight, so it's really only 7. So with only 7 guys really getting in that rotation, we're not going to press and make our guys tired for later on in that fourth quarter, especially with big games in the past. Jackson Nicodemus has gotten tired with his legs and not being able to finish free throws very late in games.
Right, we just don't have the legs and the depth to really get a press done effectively.
No.
That and our strength is not quickness. Our strength is pounding the ball inside and working hard in the paint, not necessarily beating teams and beating them to the spot.
And don't get me wrong, I love to have size. But when you have size, you're going to take that fault or something. You're not going to be as quick or as explosive. You may be bigger and stronger, but you're not going to be quicker than anyone.
And the press that I really love to see from Northwest is that half-court zone that they do where they trap in the corners as soon as the ball comes across.
As Parks takes what looks like to be a three-point attempt, but his foot was on the line, misses it in a good drive, and he finishes at the rim with that little 6-foot jumper, Spencer Bain, with another bucket for Blue Valley West.
That possession was so successful for Bain because he used the contact from, I think it was Kyle Sheaver, to propel Sheaver away from him and create the space he needed to knock it off the glass for an easy 2.
I agree with you 100%, Jack Clayton. As Jackson Nicodemus has the ball up top, let's see what he does here. You know, I like what Northwest does. They slow it down, but I wish they would pound the ball a little bit more. I wish they would take quicker shots. The more shots you get up, the more chance you have to score.
Right, and that ultimately drew them a defeat in a game earlier this season.
Yeah.
I think it was Shawnee Mission South that they got beat by.
Enough shots.
Right, they in the end of the game, their inbounds plays did not create shots, which ultimately led to their demise.
And some good triangle passing. That's going to be Jackson Nicodemus once again from deep. He makes another three-pointer, his third on the night.
And when Blue Valley West is in that 2-3 zone that we just saw, that's where Nicodemus can shine because he can really set up for the three-pointers in the corners where the defenders lose track of him.
Jackson Nicodemus is not afraid to shoot in front of anyone, but he also likes to be very wide open. And that he was right there from good passing from his guys.
So does everybody. Nobody likes to be guarded while they shoot.
Except for LeBron James. He wants someone to be in his face.
He's a different kind of animal.
He is. He's a different breed. As we see, number 1, on our roster, he's number 42. They had to make sure that was cleared in the books. Omar Stanley has done he's done a very good job guarding Waters and Parks all night. As they go inside of him, doesn't quite have the hands right there. It's going to hit off the tip, and it's going to be out. Northwest has a very good chance here to extend this lead. And I honestly think in a sub-state game, unless you're blowing the other team out, any lead is a big lead.
Absolutely. As soon as the momentum swings, you have a chance to really produce quite the lead and create the distance that you need to win the game. If Blue Valley West drops back in the 2-3 zone like they did the last possession, look for Parks or Reynolds to cut up to the elbow or the free throw line. That's where the big hole in the zone is. Look for that to become open.
And that is a 3 by Waters. It did not go. A good effort by Mitch Midiette, who always is that kid who has his nose in the dirt, not afraid to scramble for the ball. One of those hard-nosed players that you want. He may not be the best player, but he's one of the most athletic players, one of the hardest working.
Right, he does a lot of the dirty work for Leith Northwest.
It was exactly what you want. You want that guy to do the dirty work, to go in there and fight for the loose ball. Go in there and just sort of be nasty is the word I'm going to use. As that's going to be fouled, and the big man Stanley is going to head to the basket for 2.
And the best part about Midiette is that he will never say a word to the defender. He will just let his actions speak for him.
He's kind of that silent assassin. And almost as a player, as the bucket is made, the first one of 2 is made by Stanley. If I'm a player, you know what? I want you to talk to me. I want to have that conversation with you so at the end of the game I can look you in the eye and say I beat you. But when you're Mitch Midiette and you're quiet, you don't know what he's thinking. I mean, that would get on my nerves as a player.
It almost freaks you out a little bit.
Because you don't know what he's thinking. You don't know if he's mad, sad, angry, happy, or what. Always has a straight face. As that is missed, he goes 1 of 2 from the charity line right there. 3 points given away by Northwest that is not taken advantage of. The Ravens lead 25-24 with 4:24 left. Let's see what Big Ren does here. Gives that drive, goes up with a floater. We haven't seen that much from Aaron Reynolds of late, but he finishes at the rim and gets himself 2 points.
That was a smooth shot right there from Reynolds. He beat his defender and got a great look.
Number 2 is going to look to pound it, doesn't quite get it. Let's see what number 20 does here as he feeds the ball back inside of Stanley. As I look, they're trying to play through him right now. As I look like a travel, doesn't get it called. drives to the basket, and number 2, Spencer Bain, gets it to fall.
Bain has done a good job of finishing at the rim tonight, drawing contact and keeping his eyes on the rim to get 2 points.
Yes. Number 13, Kyle Sheaver, the 3-point specialist, hasn't attempted a 3 tonight, but has played very solid for his team. The 1-point lead they got. Parks is off the floor with Reynolds in. All the starters are in except for Parks, as he has a few fouls, had to go to the bench. Reynolds gives that stutter step, looks like he picked up his foot but didn't get it called. Aaron Reynolds with that right hook jumper gets the fall.
I love the work he does in the post. He's got a great set of moves that he utilizes to score down low.
The drive to the basket by West didn't fall. Say West a lot, and I'm thinking of Olathe West. Ooh, and that looks like that is going to be a defensive foul. I don't know if that's going to be on the screen. No, that's going to be on, yep, number 31. And that's going to be his 3rd foul, so he's going to head to the bench.
One big positive that we've seen out of Kyle Sheaver tonight, usually turnovers are a problem for him, whether it be on the passing side or the ball handling side, but tonight he has not given the ball up nearly at all.
Yes, as that Sheav in the back, he's going to have it by the R of the Ravens, brings it up. As we see our administration staff right there in front of our student section, right in front of them. Ooh, that's going to be a foul, but I thought Sheaver may have picked up that foot. I think West has something to complain about right there.
I thought that was the call that they were going to have for us, was a travel on Sheaver. But West knows their scouting reports apparently, because they know that if they pressure Sheaver, he is sometimes prone to give the ball up. But a good job here tonight of protecting it.
As the ball is going to be transformed up top right there. Not necessarily what that coach wants, and let me tell you why. If we had a guy who could dunk, the best play to do would be right there is have the guy at the top of the key drive down and float it to him for the easy lay-in. Not what happens. Ball is given to Waters and back to Nicodemus. Kyle Sheaver in that triple threat position kind of right now. Lucky not to get that 5 seconds called. As we hear Grove call that high-low. Means he wants his big right there and Waters to feed it down low to Big Ren. A drive by Sheaver and pulled back. Nicodemus in the corner. They're kind of at a standstill right now. Blue Valley West playing some solid defense as they have Mitch in the corner. Mitch passes up on the 3. Ooh, gets away with it. See, too much passing right there creates that turnover. A good drive, kind of go behind the back. A little sloppy. Ball's going to be out of bounds by Northwest. Retained by Blue Valley West.
One thing I'm still waiting to see from the Northwest offense a little bit more of is Waters kicking out to the 3-point line, where he is truly talented. He has a great set of post moves, and he works hard down there and gets a majority of his points down in the paint. But he is a weapon out on the 3-point line.
Very true, very true. Also want to thank Keisha for letting us broadcast this game tonight. As we see Blue Valley West dribbling it around. See what they intend to do here. Have the ball up top, not looking to do anything with 1:35 left. I want to remind you guys, a coach once wrote, when we lose without excuses and when we acknowledge the better team, we place winning and losing in their proper perspective. That's when we find out if we can be good sports. Sportsmanship is a goal to strive for at all times, in athletics, activities, and our daily lives. Remember to act in a proper manner the next time you attend a high school activity event. A public service message from your Kansas State High School activities and Raven Daily and also TV 25. Thank you for letting us broadcast this game. As Blue Valley West got really content right there with holding on to the ball. I honestly have no idea what they were doing right there.
And that was
turning the ball over.
That was the effect of the Raven defense switching up their scheme. They've been man-to-man for a majority of this game, and what they typically do is they switch to a 2-3 zone at what's a seemingly random time, but it worked out for the Ravens there, creating a turnover on the confusion.
As if you just saw on the right-hand side, Coach Grove holding up a clipboard, does that because he takes a lot of strain on his voice. He's also one of those coaches who yells the whole time. I mean this, Kyle Sheaver for 3. The 3-point specialist does not connect, and the fans do not get to yell Sheaver Fever. A good dish, a little one-hand floater, and that's going to fall for Blue Valley West. And that is going to be a timeout, Blue Valley West, as they get a chance to set up possibly that press. Down by 1, 29-28. The Olathe Northwest Ravens lead with 34 seconds left. That's going to be a full timeout. I want to remind you, you're watching Raven basketball on TV 25, where there's always something on.
Tax time is here. This year, let Peggy's Tax and Accounting take away the stress and hassles of tax season. Whether you want a quick refund or need an IRS mediator, you can rely on Peggy and her 20-plus years of experience. Be sure to ask about Peggy's immediate tax refund. Agents are on hand 6 days a week and after hours by appointment. Walk in, call in, or visit their website for more information or to schedule your appointment today. Peggy's Tax and Accounting, 300 Southeast 29th Street in Topeka.
With more premium cable-like channels than any other station in the United States, we are locally owned. We are locally operated. We are free over the air. We are TV 25, where there's always something on.
And welcome back from that timeout break. The Ravens lead by 1. A little shout out to all the students here in attendance, also to our broadcast team. The fans, you guys don't get to see all the hard work our broadcast team does. We couldn't do this without any of them, especially our teacher, Jeff Cooper, and especially Nicole Day, who runs the TriCaster for us. All this beautiful work you see on the screen is done by her. Thank you very much. Also, a shout out to my friends watching at home and their parents as well. Sad you guys couldn't make it out for the game, but thank you for watching at home. A good dish by Sheaver to Reynolds. I don't necessarily like Reynolds out there. If he's not going to shoot the 3, go back inside and go post up. Got the ball up top, giving to Nicodemus.
And look for Nicodemus to hold for the last shot here.
Look for Nicodemus to set it up. I would set it up to Waters. We see Waters kind of hunched over right there. But they give him that little off-ball screen possibly and get him freed up. Nicodemus looks to hold it, feeds the ball to Waters. Looks to be fouled. It was not called. Blue Valley West does not get a shot up. And that's going to come to a conclusion of the third quarter. And the Ravens are leading by 1. Going to be a 1-minute little break right here. And I want to remind you, you're watching Raven basketball on TV 25, where there's always something on.
Got problems? We solve them. Warner Electric, your residential troubleshooting specialist.
Great movies.
Oh, yeah.
Classic TV shows.
Good evening, I'm Mr. Carson.
Free to watch, easy to watch.
But of course.
On over-the-air digital or cable.
This is it.
This is your movie network.
Boy, if life were only like this.
And this is Antenna TV.
I love it.
Together, 2 memorable networks to watch.
Watch your favorites on TV 25.3 and TV 25.11.
Oh no, electrical problems. Who do I call?
My preference would be Warner Electric.
I think we found your problem here. For all your electrical troubleshooting needs, call Warner Electric.
And welcome back. I'm Nick Lopez alongside Jack Clayton, my color commentator for tonight. Jack, we are now in the 4th quarter. Tell me a little bit about what you want the Ravens to do to finish strong and walk away with the dub.
I'm looking for the Ravens to maintain the offensive aggressiveness they've had throughout the game. Because it's a close game, I expect that to happen, but in prior games, they tended to slow it down in the 4th quarter and really try to maintain ball control instead of looking to score.
And a little bit worked inside. Jackson Nicodemus for 3 is going to hit off the right side of the rim, and that's going to be missed. Let's see what, if I'm Blue Valley West, I'm going back inside to Stanley. I'm possibly trying to draw maybe an alley-oop dunk here to set the tone for the remainder. The ball is going to be lost by him as he turns it over. Jackson Nicodemus is going to bring it down. Nico is up by the E of the Raven sign on the northwest court.
The Northwest players should be feeling fairly well. They should still have their legs about them, considering despite Blue Valley West's best effort, they haven't really succeeded in speeding the Ravens up. They've maintained their pace that they enjoy playing at, and it's worked to their advantage so far.
A very low-scoring game, though. Really the only guy who scored tonight for the Ravens, or 2 guys, once again, has been Luke Waters and Jackson Nicodemus. Kicked out to Sheaver, doesn't attempt it. Kicked out to Midiette, who thought about it, but doesn't pull the trigger. Let's see what they're going to do here. Oh, and possibly I want to let you guys know, the winner of this game will take on the winner of the Olathe East High School, 11-9, they're the 7 seed, and Blue Valley High School, 10-10 at the 10 seed. My correction, Olathe East is 11-9.
Olathe Northwest took down Olathe East earlier in the game in an overtime finish with Jackson Nicodemus knocking one in after it rolled around the rim for 2 points. It was a great finish. Olathe East battling back in the fourth quarter to send it to overtime.
A very good game by East right there. So if Olathe East does win and Olathe Northwest walks away with the win tonight, that'll be set for a very good matchup Saturday night at 7. That's going to be an offensive foul on Northwest. Let me remind you this. A few seconds ago, you saw the ref that was in the trail position point towards the Blue Valley West bench and tell them, you guys need to sit down. As a bench, you cannot stand up. The only person who can stand up is that head coach. But he could have called that a team foul or a team technical foul.
And I think that's a little tough for a sub-state game. I don't think they'll be calling technical fouls for standing up for more than a few seconds. But
yeah, I know. I definitely agree. I don't think they're trying to take the game out of the players' hands, but they're also not going to let them walk all over them.
And, I mean, that's the worst thing that can happen, the players being controlled by the whistle.
Which is something you don't want, especially as a coach, because then your guys play tense.
Right, they're not playing freely. They're not swinging the ball like they're used to. They're not penetrating in the lane and playing good defense.
As we see number 20, Goodell, up at the key, at the top of the key. Now on the left side, gives it over to his buddy, who drives in a three-point attempt, missed. It's not rebounded by any Blue Valley West guys, even attempted to rebounded by the lone man, Mitch Midiette, number 12.
That ball was allowed to hit the ground because Northwest did such a good job of
boxing out,
applying bodies on the Blue Valley West players, boxing out, just like you said.
Something you want to do is Waters for 3. Pushes it. That is Luke Waters, the primary scorer, the number 1 option for Northwest. As the Blue Valley West defender lost control, Riddle got it. He got it. All right, I want to take this to our sideline reporter, Landon Daniel. Landon Daniel, take it away, buddy.
Just getting into this fourth period of play, we're having some really exciting basketball. Coach Grove of the Olathe Northwest Ravens has really been preaching defense for his team. They need to come out strong here if they really want to protect this lead. And that's all from me. Let's send it back to Pez at the desk. Thank you.
Thank you, Landon Daniel, for that. Thank you for calling me by my nickname, Pez. Jack, tell me a little bit. The Ravens are winning by 3. What can I do here to hold that lead or possibly extend that lead?
Because it's not been a very maybe high-scoring basketball game for the Ravens as well as the Blue Valley West, what the Ravens really need to do is buckle down on defense and continue to shut down the three-point barrage from Blue Valley West. Like we said earlier in the game, Blue Valley West has struggled tonight at the three-point line and hasn't knocked down the shots they're used to knocking down. Therefore, they don't have the point totals that they were looking for to win this game.
And you see right now, if I'm not coaching the huddle, I'm telling you, guys, we have this right where we want it. It's almost under 5 and we're down by 3. What else can we ask for when we're a 15 seed and they're the 2?
And I think it's the same way for Northwest. They've played exactly the game they've wanted. They slow it down, and low-scoring games are the kind of games that they can win.
Rebounded by point guard Jackson Nicodemus. He brings it down. He's just got above the midline. Given Midiette, who feeds it inside to Reynolds. Haven't really seen much from Sheev tonight. A good pass rejected by Stanley. A shot by Kyle Sheever. And that is Kyle Sheever, the three-point specialist for 3. Sheever fever right now as the crowd is feeling it. The Ravens are up by 6 with 4:24 remaining in this game.
And that's the most excited I think we've seen the fans all night.
Kyle Sheever doesn't attempt many threes. He is 6 for 26 on the year from deep. Makes it right there, one of the biggest threes of the year for him. Sheever has it, bringing it down as we see Blue Valley West not pressing anymore, not trying to do that trap. Sheever has it, Gives it the big rain, who looks to feed it inside, but drives. Giving to Midiette, who gives it back to Reynolds, who feeds it down low to Waters. It is found. It gets the bucket and one. Count it for the big man, Luke Waters, as he heads to the line to finish the three-point play.
And that's the kind of action I like to see from the Ravens. When the Ravens bring the big man out, they're looking for the lob down to the low post, and it works out a good majority of the time.
Luke Waters at the line shooting with 1.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As Luke Waters heads to the line to complete the three-point play, like I said earlier. And Waters does get the fall, hits off the back, hits off the front, and bound down in the middle, completes it. 37-30, a 7-point lead, the biggest lead for Northwest. The Ravens are 7 for 7 from the free throw line, shooting 100% from there.
And to this point, that's made the difference in the game. They have a 7-point lead, and they're 7 for 7 at the line.
The ball is fed inside, dished out, and a good drive to the basket. Not finished, but Stanley is going to be fouled by Waters, it appears, as he got the rebound, came down with it, and didn't land.
And right there, that's just Stanley's presence being felt down low. He's such a big body that Waters felt the need to foul him to keep him under control.
Yeah, and honestly, I like that foul. If you make him go to the free throw line, make him attempt shots. Don't give him the easy bucket. Don't make him pull within 5.
Problem was, the foul was on a rebound, and they get the ball inbounded at the baseline.
Yeah. And a tipped away from Midiette, but it's not going to be that backcourt violation as it was tipped. Regained by Blue Valley West. Let's see what Blue Valley West is going to do here. It's a close game, but they need to do something quick. A drive to the basket. The block by Big Ren Reynolds. And that is going to be an offensive foul as the elbow is going to be called.
And there is no momentum shift like taking a charge. Gets the players excited, gets the fans excited. The players on the court get the energy boost from seeing their teammate take one for them.
And that's going to be number 31, Drake Gammon, a senior, with his 4th foul, and he's going to check out. And I saw some leadership right there by number 2. Spencer Bain, a sophomore, telling his guys, we're good. We got this. We're only down 7. It's not bad. This is very doable.
And it's impressive because this is only his 2nd year of high school and most likely his 1st year at the varsity level.
Yeah. Good pass right there to Reynolds, as I would have driven to the basket if I were him. Obviously, if I'm Northwest, I want to eat some clock right now. We're up by 7 with 2:43 left.
One thing I don't want to see is Northwest go away from being aggressive. If they take their time to get a good shot, that's fine, but they need to keep putting the ball in the basket.
And Waters is going to be fouled, and that's going to be Blue Valley West's 6th foul.
His 2nd, team 6.
See what they do here is the ball is inbounded to Nico. Nico tries to cross him up right there, give him a little bit of a shimmy, gets him, drives to the basket. A very good layup that does not fall, and Stanley with the rebound. I do like the drive by Nico. A drive to the basket himself, and that's going to be a turnover as he was going out of bounds and had to let it go. Ravens leading by 7 with 2:10 left in the game.
And like you said, the layups haven't been falling so much for Nicodemus tonight, but I like the aggressiveness to get to the lane. It changes up your game and makes you harder to guard, less predictable.
It's going to be a timeout by Coach Grove. I want to thank you, Keisha. It's going to be a full timeout. But I want to thank Keisha for letting us broadcast this game. The Kansas State High School Activities Association is a non-profit organization supported by 761 member schools. Keisha and its member schools promote development and direct interscholastic activities to contribute to a well-rounded and meaningful education experience. The positive values of competition and good sportsmanship for both participants and spectators are continually encouraged. A public servant's message from your Kansas State High School Activities Association and Raven Daily and TV25. Thank you for letting us broadcast this game, Keisha. As we see some volleyball players right there, the trio of girls dancing and the girl standing to the next of the 2 girls dancing. they're volleyball state champions, especially the girl on the very far left. She's a 2-time state champion, and the girl in the middle, her brother is Jack Parks. That's Katie Parks cheering on her brother. I kind of like that sister, or that sibling love. She always goes to his games and is his biggest fan.
Absolutely. It's always so nice to have a big supporter in the stands cheering you on.
Want to thank Keisha one last time for letting us host the game. Winter in Kansas is filled with many chances from icy wind, with many changes from icy winds to gentle snow. It's a time to enjoy the excitement of interscholastic activities. Thousands of Kansas high school students need your support and encouragement. The Kansas State High School Activities Association and its member schools provide thrills and suspense for a lifetime of memories. See another part of education come to life through interscholastic activities. A public service and message from the Kansas State High School Activities Association and Raven Daily and TV25 as Big Ren Aaron Reynolds is going to be fouled by Stanley, and Reynolds is going to go to the free throw line for 2.
The Ravens ate up a lot of clock on that possession, moving the ball around and keeping it away from the West defenders.
And I do not know why, Jack, but last night the girls' game did not end until about 8:30, and it's 8:09 right now, and the boys' game is almost over. I think that has something to do with the pace of play.
And there has not been a lot of dead balls. There's not been almost any stoppages for either whistles or out of bounds or traveling. There's been most of the turnovers that have occurred have been missed passes or something that stayed in the field of play.
And that is Aaron Reynolds who makes the bucket, his first of 2. See what Reynolds does here on the second one. And Aaron Reynolds makes it. Puts the Ravens up by 9 with 1:43 left in this game. The Ravens are up and looking to that chance to go to the Sub-State Championship Saturday night at home. A good drive to the basket and missed, and scrambled and rebounded by Weston. A 3-point attempt by them, and it is good. 39-33 Northwest lead. A 30-second timeout signaled by the coach for Blue Valley West as the Ravens have the lead. If I'm Blue Valley West right now with 1:26, I know Northwest is going to eat clock. I'm pulling out that trap. I'm pulling out that press.
I think now is a good time for it. Let's prevent Blue Valley West from getting settled in their half-court offense. We just saw the first 3 out of them in nearly probably about 16 minutes. So it'd be really nice to see Northwest kind of change it up on the defensive end once again to prevent West from getting to any kind of consistent rhythm.
Almost if I'm Northwest right now, the defense I'm in, I'm changing it up. Honestly, I know it creates more shots, but I'm going to a 2-3 zone, possibly a 3-2 zone, and let them shoot because they haven't shot well tonight. Let them shoot, let my guys rebounds, and eat clock.
Until proven otherwise, why wouldn't you let them shoot? I say start in the man zone, coming out of a made basket, and drop back into that 2-3 zone that's been so effective so far tonight.
That is going to be a foul on number 13 for Blue Valley West. And Jackson Nicodemus is going to go to the free throw line for a 1 of 1. As he goes over to talk to Grove, Grove pulls him by the shirts. Nico has been a 4-year letter winner here at Northwest, not necessarily getting a lot of playing time in his freshman and sophomore year. A starter last year. Was honorable mention. Actually was honorable mention his sophomore year as well, so I guess he did play a lot. Nico is going to head to the line for 1 of 1. Jack, what do you think Grove told his senior point guard?
I think he's telling him to make sure he keeps control of the ball. You don't want the ball in anyone else's hands, for the exception of maybe Luke Waters for the remainder of this 1 minute and 20 seconds, because it's starting to look like Blue Valley West is going to be fouling or getting to that point on every possession.
And Blue Valley West with that drive to the basket after a Jackson Nicodemus missed free throw. 39-35 with 1:05 remaining in this game. They fouled Aaron Reynolds. That's going to be number 31's 5th foul, and he's going to foul out. He's a senior, so I want to thank him for all his hard work that he did. As his coach pulls him aside and tells him, "Good job, buddy. I love you." Well, I'm assuming that, thanking him for his effort. We hope he's telling him that.
Coach Grove just had a talk with Luke Waters, most likely about the ball being inbounded to Reynolds, especially because he might not be the ideal free throw shooter.
It is true, but I'm very confident with Reynolds here at the line. Reynolds made it, exactly what you want from the big fella. 40-35 with 1:05 remaining in this game.
All the big men from Northwest are uncharacteristically strong for taller players at the free throw line.
Very well-rounded all-around basketball players, especially at the free throw line. Number 2 brings it down. A good shot rebounded by Nicodemus. He's going to head to the free throw line. If I'm Blue Valley West, oh no, that's Kyle Sheaver, my bad, corrects him with the ball. Kyle Sheaver's going to head to the free throw line with a double bonus though now.
Now in the double bonus. Kyle Sheaver at the line, he'll shoot 2.
Northwest is going to have all of its guys back. The made bucket by Northwest with the 7-point lead right now. I am starting to feel a Northwest Raven victory, Jack.
I am too, but it's going to come down to how many free throws can they make and how does their defense respond to the Blue Valley West sense of urgency.
The made bucket by Kyle Sheaver has 5 points on the night. Don't see that often from him. Kyle Sheaver producing tonight.
And as you said, the first portion of the game moved very quickly, but as we move into this last few minutes, it's looking like it's going to slow down a little bit.
The 3-point attempt, and it is missed. The sophomore guard, Spencer Bain, misses the 3-point attempt.
For these last 45 seconds, Olathe Northwest needs to control the board. They cannot give up second chance points off of offensive rebounds, and they need to pull in every ball that goes up.
Sheaver to the line once again. Kyle Sheaver cannot pick up a 6-point right there of the game. Possibly goes to the line for that tonight. You know what, to me, we get that steady play from Waters and Nicodemus every night. I would say that player that shocked me tonight has been Kyle Sheaver. He hit a big shot earlier on.
And not only that, but he's prevented turnovers for himself tonight.
And Kyle Sheaver picks up his 6th point of the night. Blue Valley West down 9. A very good move, and I think he's going to get called with, oh, it's going to be a foul on Northwest.
But that's not necessarily a bad foul. Blue Valley West is not in any kind of bonus yet. And it, oh, never mind, excuse me.
As the coach of Blue Valley West said, we got to steal the ball. He's going up for 2, so he heads to the line. Makes the first one, making it 44-36 with 37.6 seconds left remaining in this game. Coach Grove is telling them when we're on offense, we're going to run the high post.
They might not get another real chance to be on the offensive end because as soon off a made basket, Blue Valley West is going to bring the press, look for a steal. If they don't get it, they're going to foul immediately.
Yep. Let's see what they're going to do here. Sheaver's going to inbound it. Inbound it to the Reynolds, and that looks like who Grove wants to be at the free throw line. Big Ren heads to the line.
And that inbounds pass is exactly what Blue Valley West is looking for. When they set up that zone press, they're looking for a ball to be inbounded into the corner where they can set up a trap.
Exactly what they wanted here is number 35, Aaron Reynolds, is going to head to the free throw line for 2. As we see in the picture, no Northwest bodies are right there at the line, as they're pretty much letting West dribble it up without a problem. Aaron Reynolds at the line and switches it, and we see new bodies for Blue Valley West coming, checking in, trying to add some more offense probably. Ravens are up by 8 with 36.7 seconds left in the game.
Northwest is looking to get their defense set up early to prevent fast break points here.
And another made bucket, 46-37. Jack, we've not seen Luke Wellman here tonight. We've only seen 7 guys for Northwest. Why do you think that is?
The game has been moving fairly slow. It's been moving at the pace that Northwest would most likely prefer to play at. Therefore, they haven't had to expend maybe the energy that they have in games past against the quicker teams.
Yeah, that possibly, hold on. That possibly could be the problem right there. Kind of saying, hey, buddy, you're very key to our team, but our guys aren't tired and we're not in foul trouble, so we're not going to play you tonight.
And that has been a big part of it. Usually the Ravens get into foul trouble towards the end of the game because they are bigger and they don't have maybe the mobility of some of the littler guys. Sometimes they struggle with foul trouble towards the end of the game, but tonight that has not been a problem. They've been under the bonus so far in this half, and I believe that Blue Valley West is only in the bonus for maybe 2 minutes of the entire first half.
Very good, very good. Northwest has the game in control right now. I pretty much don't see any other outcome happening besides the Olathe Northwest Raven win.
Northwest just needs to continue to play tough defense and hit free throws.
Exactly what Northwest is going to do right there is they're going to put a tad bit of pressure on to sort of eat the clock. You got to get a 3 up here as they drive to the basket. Going to be fouled. I kind of like that. Make him go to the line and shoot. He's not going to go to the line though. Foul's going to be on the floor. Olathe Northwest 6th foul. Mitch Midiette 2nd foul.
Blue Valley West is looking for an inbound at the three-point line and a quick shot here.
The 3-point attempt by him missed. Kyle Shiever with the rebound. Jackson Nicodemus is going to be fouled, and he's going to go to the line for 2.
Nicodemus was looking to get the ball to Waters there before he got fouled.
Number 22, Michael Rickoff, his 2nd. Jackson Nicodemus at the line shooting 2.
Northwest about to win here. If I had to choose, I would say Northwest is going to be taking on Olathe East. That would set for a very intense sub-state championship game, Jack.
Not only would it be a sub-state game, so the emotions are already running high. Both teams are already excited at the potential of going to state, but it's a crosstown rivalry. We've been battling these guys for years, and we already had a great matchup earlier in the season.
That went in overtime. And not just was it intense on the court, it was intense in the student section as well.
Right, it was a packed gymnasium for the first time this season, and it was nearly as crowded as it was for the West game.
Not as crowded, but it was pretty crowded. Ball picked up by Blue Valley West and a drive to the basket and a block by Luke Wellman. As we hear the I Believe chants from Northwest, I believe it too, guys. Northwest is going to walk away with the win with 18.4 seconds left in the game. The Ravens are most likely 99% sure going to walk away with the win. Jack, tell me a little bit about what you look forward to Saturday night for the Ravens.
On Saturday night, it all depends on the matchup, but last time when they beat Olathe East, it came down to they played their game. They battled it out with Olathe East in a war of attrition. They were looking to pound the ball inside and play their game. They prevented JT Ramey from getting on the board in key situations, and Olathe East is just overall more athletic than Olathe Northwest. So Olathe Northwest needs to do their best to play to their strengths and maintain a lead throughout the ball game.
See, there's a lot of teams who, if you think about it, in that one-on-one matchup, if we take the 5-on-5, obviously not in a team environment, but the 5-on-5 and say who's more athletic, who's got the more athletic guys, I think many teams will match up and have more athletic guys.
But it honestly comes down to who can win the battle of mismatch, because each team that Northwest faces has something that Northwest can't necessarily match athleticism-wise. However, they play well together, and they understand that if they do their best to stop him or stop that advantage, they have a great chance of winning.
Mitch Midiette is going to head to the line to get his name in the scores book. Midiette having all kinds of trouble at the basket the past few games, misses the first one. As we see a senior come off, puts his head down and starts crying. I kind of appreciate the tears. That lets me know and lets everyone else know that you cared.
And being a senior and being the leading three-point shooter for his team in Keaton Goodale, he's obviously had a great career at Blue Valley West.
Midiette missed that, and a three-point attempt by number 22 for Blue Valley West. And Northwest is going to walk away with the win. 48-37, they pulled away at the end. I'm Nick Lopez, and we're going to take this to commercial break. I want to remind you, you're watching Raven basketball on TV 25, where there's always something on. Ten seconds on.
Can we hear each other on this? Can you hear me? What? Can you
Hello, I'm Nick Lopez. I'm here with Kyle Sheaver and Aaron Reynolds. Tell me a little bit about your game plan tonight and what you wanted to do against Blue Valley West.
I think that we really wanted to pound it inside and get as many fouls as we could get, and then doing that would set up our shooters to get open because they're going to be helping down.
You guys necessarily aren't the main two scorers here. Obviously, Waters and Nicodemus are. You had a big shot tonight that extended the lead, and Reynolds, you played very well off the bench. You've been a starter as well, too. Talk to me a little bit about your performances tonight.
I just think that, you know, every game, everybody knows that they can be the factor. It's different people every night. Waters and Nico, they are our scorers, but they also know to give it to others like Sheev and Mitch and Michael and Wellman to get buckets for us. I just was ready to shoot today, just make big shots, be there for the team. Whenever I'm open, I shoot it with confidence and try to help the team.
My last two things for you guys, well, you can answer the same question. Sheep, how does it feel when they start yelling Sheever Fever in the stands? And also, what do you have to say for the fans who didn't come to the game tonight? Because I know that was a problem early on in the year.
It was a problem earlier on in the year. Well, them chanting Sheever Fever is a great motivation for me personally, and really gets me more into the game and gets me more active, along with the people not here today. I mean, our basketball team showed full support for football. A lot of us went to a lot of volleyball games, went to a lot of soccer games, and I mean, we kind of just expect them to do the same in return, but it's whatever.
As long as you walk away with the win, that's all that matters. Thank you guys, and good game tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm Nick Lopez. The Ravens will take on the winner of the Olathe East game. We don't know who that is yet, but they will play Saturday night at 7. Be here to watch that or check us out on Raven Daily or TV 25. I'm Nick Lopez alongside Jack Clayton here tonight. Good night.
Tax time is here. This year, let Peggy's Tax and Accounting take away the stress and hassles of tax season. Whether you want a quick refund or need an IRS mediator, you can rely on Peggy and her 20-plus years of experience. Be sure to ask about Peggy's immediate tax refund. Agents are on hand 6 days a week and after hours by appointment. Walk in, call in, or visit their website for more information or to schedule your appointment today. Peggy's Tax and Accounting, 300 Southeast 29th Street in Topeka.
With more premium cable-like channels than any other station in the United States, we are locally owned. We are locally operated. We are free over the air. We are TV 25, where there's always something on.
Got problems? We solve them. Warner Electric, your residential troubleshooting specialist.
Great movies.
Oh, yeah.
Classic TV shows.
Good evening, I'm Mr. Carson.
Free to watch. Easy to watch.
But of course.
On over-the-air digital or cable.
This is it.
This is your movie network.
Boy, if life were only like this.